Welcome to the Home Business Podcast with Richard Captain Henderson, publisher of Home Business Magazine, and Sherilyn Colleen, managing editor. This how-to show helps you successfully operate your home-based business.
Greetings and welcome to the Home Business Podcast. I'm Richard Captain Henderson, your skipper at Home Business TV.
And I'm Lynn, your co-host.
Let's cheer for C and get it away. Tom Ziglar is the proud son of Zig Ziglar, an industry legend who made a science out of the art of goal setting.
Tom Ziglar is the CEO of Ziglar, Inc. He joined the Zig Ziglar Corporation in 1987 and climbed from working in the warehouse to sales, management, and now its leader.
Today he speaks around the world, is an author, and hosts the Ziglar Show, one of the top-ranked business podcasts.
Tom carries on the Ziglar philosophy set by his father, Zig. You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want.
With his new book, Choose to Win, Tom shares some of that Ziglar philosophy to help you start creating the life that you want.
So greetings, Tom Ziglar. Welcome to our podcast. Say hi to our audience.
Hey, everybody. It's so great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. If you're connecting in from Dallas. How's it in Dallas?
Hot and steamy Dallas.
All right.
Nice. Well, Tom, you have this new book, Choose to Win. Can you please briefly talk about the message of your book?
It's real simple. The idea is that you can choose to win. You can transform your life one simple choice at a time. You know, the reality is it's not enough to say, hey, you should be positive or you should go out and do that. You've got to have a plan of action that goes with that, and that's what we've created in the book, Choose to Win.
Sounds like I was in the Navy. You'd just be kind of like a ship without a rudder out on the sea if you don't have a plan.
Yeah, you know, in order to make anything happen, you got to have the right mindset, the right strategy, and then you got to take action. And so what we do in Choose to Win is we combine all three.
Well, many of us do, drift through life without living intentionally. Tom, why is it important to choose a purpose to your life?
You know, Zig Ziglar, my father, said, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. Right.
It sounds like my life.
I was talking with a young man named Caleb Miller, 25 years old. He said, Tom, how do you know if you have a bad habit? It was a great question, because the reality is if you don't have a goal, a direction, a purpose, a why, you don't know if the habit you have is either good or bad. And so when you define your why, you understand your purpose, then you can ask yourself this simple question: is what I'm doing right now taking me closer to or further from my goal, my purpose, or my why? And that's why you need to have one identified. Otherwise, you're a wandering generality.
So I basically if you don't have like a why, we're all going to get habits. Those habits will likely be bad if they're not focused on some kind of a why.
That's right. And when the going gets tough, and it always does because that's life, to persevere through that, to have the grit to get through that, you got to have something purposeful, bigger than yourself, that you're going for to fuel you and give you hope while you're in the middle of that.
Well, Tom, someone once asked you what the fastest way to success was. Your spontaneous response sets much of the foundation of your book. Can you share that story with us?
You bet. I was speaking in Australia to a group of business owners, small business owners, as a matter of fact, and real estate investors. And this guy, about 39, raised his hand. The reason I say 39 is because to me, that's like the perfect age. You've got enough experience and enough years ahead of you to get something done, and enough scars to know that, it can be hard. Mm-hmm. And he said, Tom, what's the fastest way to success? And that's interesting because most people say, what are the three keys to success, or what do successful people do? But I liked his question because who wants the long way? Or you know what I mean?
True.
So out of my mouth, I just blurted, the fastest way to success is to replace bad habits with good habits. I didn't even know I'd said that. We came back from the break, and my mentor, the host of the event, his name is Steve McKnight. He said, hey, everybody, write down what Tom said. He said the fastest way to success is to replace bad habits with good habits. I kind of did the double take on the side. Like I said that. I didn't know. I wrote it down. That night I Googled it. Nobody had said it, so I claimed it. And then I spent the next 4 years really digging into that. Is that true? And I believe it is. You can look at any area of your life and you think, here I am today. Here's my performance, mental, spiritual, physical, financial, career. It doesn't matter. if I replace a bad habit that's holding me back with a good habit that takes me forward, that is the fastest way. And that's the simple proposition the book makes.
And it sounds like you got to be conscious of what you're doing. It's just not going to happen if you just kind of drift, that you have to think about it and be focused on setting some good goals.
Absolutely. I'll use social media as an example. Most of the time, if we're in business, if we're trying to make things happen and stay connected to those we love, there's some amount of social media that's appropriate. So you've got to be aware, okay, I'm going to spend 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. And then there becomes the time frame when it's not taking you closer to your goal. And so if you don't know what you want, you don't know how much time is appropriate. Is it 20 minutes or is it 6 hours? So when you define it and then you can put it into the bad habit, good habit, then you know what's going on.
Yeah, so it sounds like you've got to you got to set some boundaries too. Well, the Ziglar company does make a science out of the art of goal setting. Tom, what is the system you've designed for properly setting goals?
We talk about it in the book. We have a very specific 7-step process, and the idea is first you identify what it is that you want. We say do that in the first person present tense, so you can see yourself. Then you go through the next 6 steps. Identify the benefits, understand the obstacles you got to overcome, the skills and knowledge you got to acquire, the people you need to know, and then comes the plan of action. This is where most people mess up. They say, this is the goal I want, and they go straight to the plan of action. If we don't understand the things that are the benefits, why we should keep going when it gets hard, and we don't understand the obstacles before they get there, we're likely to give up.
So a key part of your plan is you do bring out those obstacles, and then you have like a systematic approach. So I imagine with the obstacles, then you plan, or you kind of start thinking about, like in the military, we would talk wargaming. You would do some planning around getting through those obstacles to keep focused on the goal.
Absolutely. And for the listeners, here's like the MBA of goal setting. Goal achievers do 3 things. They write it down in detail, and that's what we show in the book. Number 2, they work on the goal every day. It doesn't have to be long. It can be just a couple of minutes. They review it. And number 3 is they have an accountability partner. That's it. That's as complicated as it has to be. But the reality is that the consistency is what wins. That's why the everyday and the accountability partner helps you follow through.
Well, you have to get up on the right side of the bed each morning. Tom, can you describe a morning routine that really sets the stage for intentional living?
I have a thing called the perfect start, and it's what I do every single morning. And I encourage everybody to do this. You don't have to do 3 hours like I do. You can start with 10 or 15 minutes. But there's really 3 things that I do every single morning. The first thing I do is I have some quiet time. I do a little devotional, a little bit of prayer and meditation. The second thing I do is I put the good stuff in. I read and listen to, and I get my mind going in the right direction. And then the third thing is I plan my day. And literally, if you're just starting this, you can do this in 10 or 12 minutes. It's not a difficult thing. But here's the reality. Here's what I want you to think about. Either you're going to happen to the day, or the day's going to happen to you. And the first 10 to 20 minutes will determine which one of those things happen. Because if you have a plan for your day, if you have the right mindset, and you realize that you can happen to the day, that changes everything.
So that plan will also obviously involve taking a look at those goals you're setting and making sure you're keeping focused on, looking at those each day and making progress.
That's right. And a lot of times we also recommend that you just review at the end of the day, what did I get done? Reflect on that as you go to sleep. That will set you up perfectly for the perfect start in the morning. But here's the thing, anything worth achieving, anything that you want to accomplish in life, it's going to take a plan to get there, and it's going to take daily activity to make it happen. People underestimate what they can do over a long period of time, and they overestimate what they can do in a short period of time. Choose to win is about winning the game of life. It's not about the home run I'm going to hit in the morning.
It's probably safe to say it's more of a strategic approach. Tactical with being short-term, what are you going to do each day, where you've got a good long-term strategic approach to fit everything in those tactics that you're going to use.
Yep, absolutely. And the strategic view allows the tactical to have massive impact. So that's why I always say you can get massive results without massive upset, because we're looking at the long view, but we're doing little things every single day to get there.
Tom, you also write about the basics of physical health, sleep, diet, and exercise. What's your game plan for making good choices in these areas?
Well, the number one lesson that I learned from my father is this: we've got to choose our input. I was reading a Stanford study just last week, and it said that people who have positive affirmations about the food they eat, like, I love kale because it's so healthy, they actually start to crave that food.
Kale?
Yeah, whatever it is. So here's the thing. This is kind of a cool little life hack. If you want to get in better shape, you want to have better physical health, you want to get better sleep, read information about it, give yourself positive affirmation, and you'll start to want to do that, which is awesome, because I've never wanted to eat healthy food until recently.
You can kind of condition yourself for it.
Yeah, and when you understand what good stuff does to you and what bad stuff does to you, and you constantly put that in, then your subconscious starts making the right choices.
Sounds like another good habit.
Yeah, it is. It's the number one habit.
Well, Tom, if there's one piece of advice you'd want readers to gain from your book, what would that be?
Yeah, it's just a word of encouragement, and that's this: that you can choose to win, you can transform your life. The question is, who do you want to become? What do you want to accomplish? What are the goals in life that are going to give you the fulfillment that you want? And then what's the action plan? You can do it. We see all walks of life achieve this. So if you could adopt one habit, we already talked about it, start reading, listening to, and associating with the right people so that the input changes. When the input changes, the output changes.
Well, good advice, Tom. This has been a great discussion on choosing to win. Do you have any final points you would like to share?
Nope. You guys have been awesome. I love what I do. I get to work with thousands of people all over the world. And, you know, it's great when you hear the night and day story. But the reality is, for most people, they wake up one day and their life is totally different because they've made a lot of simple, good choices on a daily basis over a period of time. You can literally transform yourself faster than you can imagine if you follow the process.
Tom Ziglar, thank you for being such a wonderful guest on the Home Business Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. To learn more about Tom Ziglar and his book, Choosing to Win, visit Ziglar.com.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Home Business Podcast. Share your feedback with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and at our website, homebusinessmag.com.
Visit the website for information on advertising. Subscribe to our newsletter. Please visit our sponsors for more information. Visit homebusinessmag.com or the expo at homebusinessexpo.com.
I'm Richard Captain Henderson saying anchors away.
We'll talk with you soon. Until then,
make it a great home-based biz day.